Hi lads, so we're going to look at doing a photorealistic view of an object. So you can do a photorealistic of the master model, you can do it of an assembly, or you can do it of a part. Okay, so what we do is we first of all have to turn on or add in the software that is used to do that. It's called PhotoView 360, and you'll find it up here if you go to Options, Add-ins, and you click on this one here. It says PhotoView 360. Once you click OK, you'll see a tab up here called Render Tools comes up. So everything that you need is under that Render Tools. It's all these tiles along here. So there's a couple things to look at first of all. I would go to Options first, and I would change this here to make it 1920 by 1080. It just gives a very high quality resolution to it. The format that you're going to save the file in is going to be a JPEG. And I would also probably browse here and save this to the folder that you're in your documents. That's called your S, where you have your assembly and all your parts. So in other words, yours will be going into part B. I just have the assembly for this is in part A, and the drawing sheet for this is in part A. But you put the image wherever the drawing sheet is located, because one needs to be linked to the other at all times. So that's my folder. I'm going to select that. Down here, I'm going to just preview render. You can leave that at good. This one here, best and maximum are the ideal ones, but it's quite slow on the machine. And just for this test, I'm going to select better. But when you're doing your one, you could select best probably, but I'm going to leave mine at better so it's not going to be too slow. Okay, so I'm going to press correct there at that. Now, the next thing we can look at is adding in a scene. So if I go edit scene here in this, so there's lots of different options. There's basic scenes, there's studio scenes, there's presentation scenes. So they're these are real life backgrounds. Studio scenes are like so, and basic scenes are just your colors. All right. You can also come over here if you just wanted to go just color, and you can change it. Click this box and you can put whatever color you want in there. So say for example, if you said green, you want that green there. Couple of the small things that you want to look at is flow reflections. You can see that's where you can see it in the bottom here. If I don't want that, I can turn that off. If you wanted to have that on and you want the floor to be the dash cam to be a certain distance off the floor, you can make it higher or lower. So in other words, that's rising up rather than that going down. But I just prefer to leave the floor reflection off for now. Okay, so I'm happy with that there now for a moment. The other thing is the scene reflectivity. Yeah, so I'm happy enough with that for a minute. The other thing is that even though that's a green solid background, I can actually rotate that around and it just get a different lighting from different directions. So that's under edit scene as well. I'm just going to leave it at 0 for now, and I'm going to leave it that for now. So there's one other thing what I do is there's lights that are used to create the shine. So they're under here, under this display manager, and you select this one here. So the beach ball there, select that one. And what you do is you right click on this directional one. So don't left click, just right click and click on in PhotoView 360. And here again, you go on in PhotoView 360 and the same thing. So just turning on extra lights. Okay. And I'm going to press, I'm actually just going to edit scene there a second to see that's flow reflections after staying on there. So it's after turning back off again for some reason. Just let me go back in there, edit scene, change floor background, set that to 0 maybe. So I'm going to press correct there, and I come over here. Actually, I think this is where the problem is. It's on this this one here. So shadows in shaded mode. So I'm going to turn that off, and real view graphics. So if I turn on real view graphics, it just puts on that shadow. So I'm going to leave that off maybe for now and see what it looks like. Okay, so you can zoom in as close as you want to it or as far as away. Now you can get an idea what it looks like, because it does take a few minutes to render it. So you can get an idea what it's going to look like if you click on preview render. Okay, so it says turn on perspective, add a camera. So turn on perspective. It's just a different view. You can turn on perspective by going over here as well. So it's taking a minute to do that. Okay, so what I'm waiting now, it's loading up my, there it is. So this is my render quality here. There's how you turn on perspective. You can find it there. Okay, and you can play around with them to do little features a small bit as well. Read view graphics. What does it look like? Ambient inclusion. There's not much difference in that, I think. Perspective. And then shadows and shaded view. Okay, so that's up to yourself what you want to do there. So that's what that would look like. All right, so again, you can come along, you can change it if you want. Okay, you can minimize that and you can say, right, I'm not that happy with that scene. I want to make it a different color. You can go back here to color again and you can change it to maybe a white background. Just give a white, click OK. Um, Floor shadows there. I'm going to turn both of them off on that. So press correct. Now they're gone for me. Just over here, can I turn on the nons there? So it just gives a different, it's just a trial and error to be honest. So turn them off. So that looks pretty good. So what you can do is you can actually select an area to render. Rather than rendering the whole screen, you can put a little area around it. So render region, you can select that, put your purple box just around the actual image itself. So make it a little bit bigger so it does a small bit around the area of it. And then I'm going to go here, click on final render. As I said, once final render is ready to go, I have my set to better. You can just change that to best and maximum, but I'm going to leave mine at better. And I'm going to press correct there. And I'm going to select final render. So it will take a couple of minutes now for us to get that done. So I'm going to press pause and I'll bring it back on again when it has a bit of this done. Okay, so now it's just you can see it's finishing off there. It does it under a different, it's under a different tile there, different window. If you can just bring that down, you can see it's going around the last few parts of it there. These are just earlier ones that I've done, so you can do as many as you want. So it's 1 minute left there. It's at 93%. So again, I'm just going to bring that down. So it's kind of like a tile that works in the see it there. It's working separately to it. And there's my preview window working the way. So sorry, bring that back up again. So you'll hear a little bell ringing when it finishes off. Okay, so that shows me that it's done. Now, if I like that image there, these were earlier ones I did as well, just different backgrounds on it. So that one there, if I like that, I just basically right click, or I can actually don't even do click Save Image. Okay, it's going to save it there. It's going to save it into that. I'm just going to put front view, give it a name, and it's saving it as a JPEG. Okay, and I'm going to click Save. Okay, I'm going to minimize that. Just say, for example, I want to take the back of it as well. If I spun that around, okay, and I bring it to focus, bring it as big as I want. Again, that's what it's going to look like. Once I'm happy with it, I have all my settings done, I could just click Final Render there, and it would start working away there. Itself, as I said, it's quite hard on the machine. So you can see this running through there on that. And what I'm going to know in the meantime, when I'm waiting for that, is I'm going to show you now how to put an image, a JPEG image, into a drawing sheet. So actually that one is finishing off, so I'm going to wait for another minute. So this is showing the back of it. And again, you can just play around with different scenes, see what suits yourself, but it's just important more so to have an actual JPEG in that drawing sheet rather than anything else. So that is nearly done. Again, you can hear that. So I'm going to select that and I'm going to click Save Image. It'll ask me where do I want to save it. I've already selected the folder. It knows where it's going because I did that earlier on. But if it didn't, you can just browse through it. And I'm just going to call that the rear view. View, okay, and click Save. Okay, so that's it there. Now, if I come to my drawing sheet, and I have one here already open, I'm just going to minimize that because I don't need it. All I've got to do now is I go to Insert and Insert Picture, and I browse for where I want it. So mine was in there. It was in this one here. It's in SolidWorks. Mine was in Part A because that's what the drawing sheet was. I click Front View, and I click Open, and that will drop that into that sheet there for me. Now again, it just takes a minute. It's so important that JPEG must be in the same folder as the sheet. So right, that's after going in there for me now. And I just turn off the enable tool. Now, the problem with that is there's a huge black area after coming in with it. Okay, so I need to fix that up. I can resize it and so on. And I don't think I can crop it in this one here. As far as I know, I can't. So that's not really great for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back in and I'm going to open up that rear view there, or the front view. Okay, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use this cropping tool. Okay, and I'm going to just bring that in here like so, and bring that around because it takes up too much to sheet if I don't leave it. And I'm just going to save a copy. So I think that should save over what's there already. So it looks quite a lot better as well when I get in closer to it. So there's the front view too, and imagine that's going to be it there. So I'm going to go back to my drawing sheet again. Okay, and I'm going to, that one's to just minimize that. And I'm going to just select that, or actually right click, select it, right click, and it should be able to delete it. I'm just going to select it and I'm going to press. It's not letting me delete that there now. Okay, so I'm going to move that off just out the page there. It won't print it off out of the way. I'll look into getting rid of that in a few minutes. Okay, so don't want that. I'm going to go insert picture again, and I'm going to this time I'm going to take this picture too to get a preview of it. There it is. All right, take a minute to come in. And there's my image. It's far better there. I'm going to turn off that enable scale tool, and again you can resize that to whatever you want it to be. So press correct, select it, and then it'll let resize it or remove it around the sheet there for me. And whenever I'm happy with it, I move it to there, and I'm going to just drop it there. So just resize. You can see that one there now. They're both the same, but this one here has just got it all the black around it, but they were both the same. So clear selections, that one is there. So that's basically it. So again, if I want to take another one, I would come along and say insert picture. Now, as I said, the important thing, that rear view, you can see that again, I'm taking that black area. So it might be better to open that up directly from the folder and crop it. So just to go through that again, you open it rear view, it's opening up with that software, and you can crop it down to size with that. So crop there and crop there. No, that's not what I wanted. Okay, crop it across there. Okay, I'm going to cancel that and do that again. So I'm going to open that again. I'm going to crop it. Just bring it to there and bring that up there a bit closer. So I don't want to take up too much of my sheet. Save a copy, and now I have saved a copy too. So really what I should do there is I should also get rid of the two that I don't want. So I don't want that one any longer. So delete that. And I don't want that any longer. So I delete that one as well. And then when I go into my drawing sheet, I can put in the second one there if I want. All right. So rear view 2, click open, and that will drop it in there as well. So turn off enable scale tool and resize it to whatever way you want it to be. So correct, then double click it and go to one of the corners. And we'll let you resize it there to whatever we want. Okay, no harm to put a note underneath that as well. Annotation, I have to press correct. Annotation, put a note or text box underneath explaining what it actually is for that as well. Okay, as I said, that one there, I'll delete that again. For now, I'm just going to get it off the sheet there so it won't print off me. Okay, so that's basically it.